And yeah, I think that I had to kind of figure out how to learn, and yeah, just another way of making things for no money. It's just a
No, I borrow people's insurance.
I mean, you first of all, safety is like one of those things you don't cut the corners on. I mean, we're talking. There's a lot of rules, and I'm working with a group of people right now that don't break any of them. And I'm like, really, people, come on. I mean, but that's just how I often work. But there's a risk every time you do that, but the risks I don't take are with safety, with hurting somebody. If you get busted without shooting without a filming permit, no one's gonna get hurt for that. It's gonna hurt. It can hurt your day. It can really hurt you. And you have to manage all those risks, but you'll never make a no budget film or a film without enough money or whatever if you are worried about every single thing, and you have to manage it. And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And I've lost a bunch of times. I try to teach the stuff when I lose. I try to take advantage of that and teach it in my class so I can get some value out of it. Having lost. But I had that. I'm the only person besides Kane who can probably take advantage of really getting burned, because I can then teach it. But there was one behind, and then we'll come to you. Yeah.
Have we forgotten the people that don't get creative rewards for their reel, like the script supervisor that when Truffaut pared his team down to 8 people was his key number 1 person? What about the script supervisor?
So she was talking about icing. I think script supervisor is an icing thing, like the icing on the icing for me.
If you're doing a, $20,000 movie, probably, you're going to have to, have a friend keep track and whatnot. And you as a director should hopefully have a good enough memory to, know, oh yeah, the third take was what, I remember she screwed the lines up, but that was so she cried on the third take to tell your editor, or you're the editor or whatever. It's not, of course you can do it without, as I said, you can do it without everybody. I've been on the films where I broke all the rules. I did the no permits. We've done all of those. I was like the makeup artist, the lead actress, the producer, the caterer, the production designer. Yes, but something suffers. There's a cost, there's a payoff. There's a cost, there's a payoff. But that's all we had. We had $30,000. That was it. So, you have to do it. And you just figure out that, I think on Jacques, we had someone who was out of script school and she needed her first feature, so she did it. She was awful, but, so you have to, if they're interrupting, excuse me, you've crossed the line. You can't, you just thank you very much. Just note that. I know I crossed the line. Thank you.
And I would also say on this idea, when you do a lot of the things yourself, you need a ton of time to do this. I mean, when you're trying to pull something together really quickly and make a film and really quickly, then you need all those people. But if you're going to do a lot of this work yourself, you need to give yourself 3 or 4 times the amount of time to be able to do it. So it's not just things, balls dropping constantly and stuff sliding through the cracks. So yeah.
I had the benefit of working with Coppola's script supervisor on one film that I directed, and to Truffaut's script supervisor, it does make a difference. Yeah, but that was one-off. Since then, I've hated them all.
Go ahead. Oh,
I was just going to say, he was also shooting on film, and I think with digital, you have playback, you have other safety nets that you can rely on that just make it different.
You can go quickly back and look, did she have that purse for continuity, or which way were they looking? Yeah. It's a much easier thing. And often if the director is the editor, then he kind of remembers, and because there's this whole thing like you're going to hand this over to the editor, and they weren't on set and they don't know anything, and then if they have those notes, that's useful. But did you have a question?
There's still huge mistakes like missing the
No, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point too. All right, so did you have a question? Or? Oh, okay.
So I have sort of 2 questions. One, I don't live in LA. I live in San Francisco, and I'm having trouble finding people who do have experience with film. So as a result, I have to hire people in LA and bring them to San Francisco to work on film, and all my equipment has to come from here. So and I'm not from here, so it's really hard to find resources, and I'd love to get your ideas of how to make that better on a very, very low budget feature. School kids. I didn't go to film school. No, but I mean.
No. Yeah. San Francisco Film Art Academy or whatever that San Francisco State.
So yes, but they're all like, we work on commercial, we don't work film. And there's no film here in San Francisco.
First of all, if you're talking about a no budget film, then you don't need all this like stuff. You know, you don't need as much. You buy your camera. I mean, are you gonna shoot on film? Is that you're talking about film? Don't shoot film. Done. Seriously, don't make a no budget film and shoot on film.